Hello, everyone. Today I am joined for the third time by lovely Kim Voight. Some of you actually requested to have Kim again, which I'm very happy about. So, welcome back, Kim.
Thank you for having me again.
Thank you so much. And I would like to say that to those of you who are not quite familiar with Kim's work, she just recently posted, I think today, brand new video on her channel. Embody Light is her channel. It will be attached down below, where she explains what kind of healing work she does. And there are many different forms of work that Kim can do depending on the client. But actually, my first question, Kim, to you is about when you look at the spectrum of your clients right now, okay, they come to you for help.
Mhm.
What would you say is the most requested type of healing from people?
Most often, I just feel stuck and I don't know what's wrong.
Hmm.
You know, a very good example, and we were just talking about this. Somebody who's a writer
Hmm.
was just stuck, couldn't move any farther, not getting any more information.
Hmm.
Writer's block is the same thing as an energy block. And so we find the reason they're withholding or they're stopping their energy flow, usually because there's a trauma buried underneath that they don't want to feel or know about.
And when you have this kind of story that client has, what is the most common technique that you use to
Well,
release that?
what I've got to do is because they are, we start out with our energy flowing and we're clear. And then as things happen, we start withholding the energy flow. We stop letting it come to us. So the main thing I've got to do is get all of those energy bodies open so that they're flowing. And then we go back in and find the specific reasons they're blocking. Like I might tell you, I feel a blockage around your throat. And typically what that means is maybe when you were growing up, you were accused of lying, weren't believed, told children need to be seen and not heard, told to shut up, that kind of thing. And so after a while, you give up and forget it. I'm just not going to talk or not going to tell them things. And then you create a block in your throat. And so we go in and work on that. And I don't always, as I said in the video, I don't usually put the person in a deep state of hypnosis. They just go into it while we're doing the process because it takes away time from the session. But, we'll go in and I'll describe what's going on. And I'm shining light into that area. So it's coming up for them. They're remembering. And then if they don't, I will tell them what I'm feeling or seeing. But my guides and my higher self tell me it is more empowering because my goal is to never disempower another person. It is more empowering to help them to remember than to just tell them.
Yeah, I love
So
this.
they can tie those details together for themselves. Otherwise, people come to you and they think like you have some magic genie in a bottle sessions and you can fix everything. And that's simply not true. I can show you how you can create the energy flow so that you can draw these things into your life.
It's such a good point you said this, because I feel that, and I will speak now from my little experience because I started to do like intuitive readings for people, which I just felt like I heard my higher self told me start doing this, and I actually enjoy this when I moderate this if I don't overdo it. But what's interesting when you said this, exactly what came to me when people ask about like life's purpose and things like that, those are such a questions I feel that you direct to your higher self.
Right, right.
So like you doing this work, you're redirecting them back to find their
Mm-hmm.
own guidance and answers, not to
Yeah.
seek it outside all the time.
Right, right. Well, and like when people ask me that kind of question, what I tell them is, what do you love?
Mm,
People are under the misconception that the creator's will is separate than their will. Like the creator sitting up on some throne saying, oh no, you're not doing that. You haven't earned it yet. That's not it. You know, the creator wants what you want, what brings you joy, what makes you happy. So when they ask me that, I say, well, what is that? You tell me. You know, and I'll give them little hints. And finally, if they just don't get it, I will tell them, but I'm trying to direct them to find out within
So it's
themselves.
actually so simple, Kim, right? When you think of
Right, right,
because
right.
it makes you joyful, it means you feel the energy is moving.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's everything because it's this concept of suffering and
Yeah.
hustle, hustle, hustle.
Mm-hmm. You know what it really is, you know, when, and I know everybody can't relate to this and probably maybe some haven't had this experience, but if you can remember when you were a little kid and you could hardly wait for morning to get there, you could hardly sleep because you were going to do something so fun the next day. And then finally morning's here and you're like, yay. When you clear up your energy blocks, because it's been so low for so long, you feel very young, you feel very joyful, you feel very integrated because that inner joy you always hear, do your inner child work, because that inner child is the sweetness of our soul. That's how we connect.
So beautiful. You know, this reminds me, like, it's amazing because I have like direct questions, but I want to flow with the conversation. It's more organic.
Okay.
And I feel that when you said this, what the image came to me, I remember I was a little girl, and sometimes when I had like a new toy or like a new object that I really enjoyed, the first thing when I was waking up next morning, I was like going back at it and like looking at it again and like so happy. And
I know, I know.
yeah, we lost
We
this.
were so easily pleased back then.
Yeah, it's like now people get stuff and it's like half an hour later, whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So Kim, you posted not the last video, the one prior the last video, you posted one of the best explanations about archangels that I have heard for a long time. And I would like, if you can, of course, not the whole, because people can go and check your video
Mhm.
and listen to what you said, which was brilliant. How would you describe archangels to those who are watching now?
Well, I never knew what that was, and it's always implied that it's, or I always got the impression that people thought it was some kind of hierarchy or something. But what it actually is when, okay, so when Earth was populating and they had their normal Earth people, and we had beings from other planets coming to them, coming down and incarnating. This is a big genetic experience because these people had advanced abilities and they also had devices.
Mhm.
The people on the planet thought that they were gods and angels. And so archangel, what that is those are beings that are Arcturian. And so it's not about hierarchy or anything. It's basically more about function. You know, like we hear stories about Archangel Michael, that his dominion is protecting the earth.
My favorite, by the way.
Yes, yes. Well, then a number of years ago, and I had no idea what this meant, I had a dream, and there's this Asian woman, looked like Kuan Yin, in the dream telling me she's Ra. I said, okay, that's nice. And no idea what Ra meant. So I was working with another very talented energy person who told me that's actually your higher self. I looked it up and it said a group of Pleiadian archangels. And I said, what the heck is that? I had no idea. Well, all it is, then this is what I'm getting, because I am a mixture of Pleiadian and Arcturian. It's kind of like a hybrid, which is no different than if you have a Japanese father and a Caucasian mother. Would you call your child a hybrid? No, but it's a hybrid, these two mixtures. And so that's what makes Ra, because it's a collective, we work as a group, and many people are a member of that group. And when you hear this was channeled from Ra, it's because they're a part of that collective I don't know if you want to call it future or past, because I guess if you're a star seed, you came into the past to help fix the future, if that makes any sense.
No, I totally understand what you
Yeah, so it's not about hierarchy. And then I've heard people talking about that they're a fractal of Michael, or they're a fractal of this. And I had to ask, because archangels and angels, as far as I know, they do not have a human incarnation. And so I had to ask. And they said, what they said was, those of us that are Arcturian, that is within our bloodline. This would be like a faraway genetic cousin. Somehow this bloodline has incarnated into the human form, the archangelic. So if you have archangelic energy, it's because you have Arcturian genetics.
How can
And
we
that's all
find
it
out,
is.
Kim? How can we find out this blood lineage? What do you think?
The way, and I'm just kind of finding out, I got Elena Dinan's book
Yes, I
and my
met her.
eyes got opened.
I
Um,
interviewed her. She's amazing.
she is
She's a
amazing.
friend. She's amazing, that girl.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've read her book and I've watched the videos. I've had dreams where they're telling me this, you know, so I knew ahead of time. But then I'm starting to find out by reading her what races other family members were, and it's making a whole lot of sense now. Because what I found out, because then I had a few other questions for my guides, if you don't mind me saying this. I
No,
said,
absolutely, go ahead.
okay, so if a star seed, because what they talk about is the Voight program, Elena's talked about, and I know I am a part of that. But I have children that I think are star seeds. What they told me, this was very interesting. A star seed could come in through an envoy, but also through parents. What they told me is a star seed to come in, how'd they say it? If you have two parents that are in a very high vibrational twin flame relationship and they are partially activated, they can give birth and a child can come through that's a star seed that's already activated. What they said was, otherwise, if it was a different circumstance, maybe you weren't in a twin flame relationship or you weren't both activated, because you carry the right genetics, you still could have given birth to that child, but she wouldn't have come in activated.
Got it.
She would have had to activate later on in her life. I said, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Which is most common, probably.
That's the most common way. Yeah.
So I also feel, tell me if you feel the same, that if someone is like naturally drawn, pulled to certain archangels type, because we have Gabriel, Uriel, Michael, okay? Like there are certain virtues of each archetype. And okay, I have to say, this is so fascinating, Kim, seriously it is, because like on Earth, there are certain lines, like Archangel Michael lines, or certain spots in the world actually that I've been to some, but there are so many I want to explore and show people. So I think that maybe by that connection, that interest in this, we kind of already know that we are part of that.
I think so, yes, I think so. And then I think we're drawn together with people that it's like a vibration, a signature. I was telling Anya, before we started, I was having a really challenging time recently. And I saw her comment, just a little comment on one of my videos. And I just felt immediately better. And I said, that was a touch from home. She is one of my people. And I just knew it automatically. Kindred soul. That's what that is, a kindred soul.
You know, when I saw you for the first time, it was on this interview channeling Eric. And that lady, she had many different light workers on that channel, but not all of them resonated with me. Actually, most of them didn't. There were very few that did. And when you were there some time ago, I just felt this like trust, the sense of like trust, and like I like your energy and I trust what you're saying, and it was, I didn't question, you know.
Mhm.
And it's very often when you go on those YouTube channels and you see all those people who say they have abilities, but sometimes it's almost like they know something, but they don't, they build a story around it.
Mhm.
Like people do readings, like my readings are straight to the point, like whatever I hear, I just say, but I don't go. And some psychics, like they go and go and go and go, and it's like, yeah. But what I want to ask you next is about those implants. Okay. You're
Okay.
not the only one. And this is what I found so fascinating, because one of my favorite people on YouTube is JCK.
Mhm.
I don't know, you're probably familiar.
I'm familiar with her. I've seen her work. Yeah.
Love her and her work, and authenticity. And, you know, it takes courage to say certain things
Mhm.
out there. But she had an experience during this, what was it? I already forgot. The full moon in May, the that ascension time. Like I experienced crazy things too with my body, but she literally, I don't think only felt, she knew that she got some implants during this time. And you mentioned in your video, which is about the same time I feel,
Oh, okay.
that was it also, was it in your ankle, in your leg? Where was it, Kim? What is this?
Okay, so, well, this is interesting. So if you're taken, this is what I understand, this is how the guides explained it to me. If you are from a certain, and Alina said this too, if you are from a certain bloodline, you are going to be protected and monitored and guided. Okay, so you're from this bloodline, and so those beings, this was at a later time when I was probably in my 30s. I thought it was just a dream, and I may have had it earlier and they were just taking us to check on us, but I was with all these adult people on an airplane, and it was aliens were taking us. And I was the only one who could speak alien. They were all afraid. I had to go talk to them, tell them we'd be okay, we'd be back by morning.
Sorry, was it in a dream?
This was in a dream.
Okay.
So what I found out was this was actually benevolent beings, like the people that Elena deals with.
Mm-hmm.
What I didn't know was, and I haven't made a video about this, I'm just starting to find out. I have a session set up, but I actually had an alien abduction when I was 7. I found out about that from working with other people, and they're finding implants in me. So then I start working, because then I know what it feels like. There's a kind of a stingy electrical feeling in my hands when I'm
Okay.
scanning their body, if there is one. And the guide started, I thought I was removing them, but after watching Elena, I think what is actually happening is we're changing the frequency. So mine are gone. I have no implants where any lower energies can find me anymore, but I still have one in my foot, in my right great toe, that was from the benevolent beings, and that's how they communicate with me. Next time I communicate with them, I do want to know why it's in my toe. I'm hearing other people have it in their head or their
Yeah.
neck. My feeling is I was probably kicking and screaming, and that's all they could get a hold of. I don't know, because I probably would have been afraid, not understanding what it was.
But do you feel it, like, how is there any sensation in everyday life?
I used to have, although I haven't noticed it lately, I couldn't figure out how come when I could have my cell phone in the house and I would be outside. If somebody would send me a message, I would feel a buzzing in my ankle,
Wow.
and I'd know to go get my phone. I don't notice that so much now. I don't know why, if I'm more disconnected from my phone or what, but I used to wonder what in the heck that was. And that's what the guides told me. They said it just somehow picks up on the impulse of it and it buzzes in your ankle.
So another thing I would like to know, when you look at the people, because I feel that especially this last few weeks were very, very profound in energy shift and elevation of energy. And I'm not the only one who experienced
Mhm.
this. the physical experiences were beyond intense. And I
Yes.
think with that, what happened is there is this sense of, like I said before in another interview, there is the contrast is more sharp now. So you can, like, between the dark and light, between the lies and the truth, the contrast is like so sharp, which is easier to recognize certain things. So I wonder, Kim, for example, the case of walk-ins, okay? Let's say you don't know the person at all. So you don't know the life of this person or the behavior, the personality traits, you don't know it.
Mhm.
And you meet for the first time. Do you think, like, are you able to say that there is a walk-in, or you have to do like more, I would say not like investigation, but like more questions, answers, or you can feel the energy that there is a walk-in, like a different spirit in the body?
Yeah, to tell you the truth, that I haven't encountered that. But up until that video about that individual I learned that I knew of that was a walk-in, I knew it was true, but it seemed so far-fetched. How could it work? And so this is just recent. I haven't had the opportunity to work with anyone. Um, I think I would maybe see some signs and then start questioning. But sometimes when things are just not making sense and we can't quite figure it out, what we do is there's a technique I have called the superconscious mind level. It's this, well, actually, it's called the soul plane level. You take someone very high up in their understandings, and they are able to find the cause of what's going on. I think from that perspective, they would know it was a walk in. I don't know. It's so new for me. I'll have to see what happens. Maybe after the second time, or I don't know. I see people twice, but I'm thinking it would be some little clue where, wait a minute, something's not making sense. Like the one I was speaking of, remembered, which I thought was so strange, I could never figure it out. Remembered absolutely nothing before the age of 14.
Yes, yes.
So that would be one hint. Oh,
Mhm.
no, I do know of another one that had happened in a family. And I wasn't sure at the time, but now I absolutely am. The Apparently the husband had a walk-in situation and he couldn't quite remember the details, and there wasn't like a cognitive dementia impairment kind of thing. He just couldn't remember certain details of like what happened on holidays or what happened here or there, and he had all the details mixed up. And then later, much later, I forgot all about this, we found out that he was actually a walk-in. But she had no idea. I had no idea at the time. We just noticed something was a little different.
This is fascinating.
Mhm.
It is, and I was asking you because the dark forces, let's call it this way, they used to have certain entities put into certain people.
Mhm.
And therefore I think the higher we go, the higher we ascend and we vibrate, the more we are able to recognize if someone actually took over the body.
Right. Um, and I had to ask, in this first situation I was talking about, I had to ask a few questions about that. I asked, was this a pre-agreement, a pre-arrangement? What I got was no, not initially.
Hmm.
I don't believe it was expected that this first individual would die, but as it was happening, an agreement was made, and this other individual came in because, and I didn't know this either. Now, this other individual, this walk-in, was from another planet.
Mm-hmm.
She had a lot of karma and a lot of things that had happened on this planet that she had to complete. Because I wondered, okay, if you're really from another planet and you're a star seed and you do something crazy down here, do you have to come back and complete the karma? I don't know if that's always the case, But in this individual's case, she did. And karma is not a punishment, it's a balancing of the energies.
Wow.
So she had to come back to complete her karma so that it was balanced.
This really makes sense, you know, because I'm also a huge fan of Dolores Cannon and her work.
Me too.
And I want to ask you, Kim, the quantum healing that you do, is this type of what Dolores was doing in her work, or it's different?
Well, it's different because what Dolores was doing was hypnotizing people to get information, and they might have
Yes.
done some clearing work in those sessions.
Yes.
I have not had any of that kind of training. What I'm doing, and why I call it quantum, is because if you have a situation, especially a chronic one that happens over and over and over again, that most likely is something that you came in from a past life to work on, you know, something that was unresolved. So by taking care of the issue, because healing happens in the now, in the moment. So by healing this issue now, say it was a situation where, you know, the love of your life died and you said you'd never love again or something. And you made that commitment, and that's how things worked out for you. So then it's happening again in this lifetime. We don't have to go back to that original time that happened. We need to work on what's happening right now, why you're blocking your heart, why you won't allow people into your life, you know, and heal those things. That's going to take care of that past life issue and the now. That's why I call it, well, it is quantum. Healing happens in the now, and it clears up all of those things that happened in the past.
I love this. It's almost like it's a new image, but it's the same story.
It is. It plays out over and over and over again.
So
till it's done.
Do you think that, I was wondering about this lately. Do you think that through this ascension process now, we are going to, and then this is again related to Dolores in a way, that we are going to separate the realities in a way, like we do coexist, but like we don't see each other anymore?
I believe that. I think some of us are already seeing that, you know, where there's so much craziness around you, but your own individual world is wonderful and things aren't happening in your world and what you can control. This is the way I see it, that it's going to play out this way for a while, where there's going to be conscious and unconscious. And the people that are conscious won't necessarily notice the unconscious and vice versa. Eventually, as this goes on, and the people that are on this planet now, as their life ends, the ones that did not understand and ascend will have an opportunity on another planet that's like Earth, or maybe it'll be another Earth where they're still playing out that 3D reality. But Earth will be a fifth dimensional reality with higher ideals and higher possibilities. So that at some point we do get separated, you know, where we're not living amongst each other. And it's totally possible because spiritual information is etheric. It's very easy for us to mix it up in our minds of what they're trying to say, but to the best of my ability, that's what I understand is how it will work.
Oh, the doggy, I can hear that.
Yeah, I should probably shut him. He's figured out where I am.
No, all about dogs. Dogs are the most important.
He is. He's a good boy, but I had to put him out because he gets a little rambunctious when I'm recording sometimes. So you hear the rambunctiousness.
No, I love dogs, honestly. Actually, to be honest, I'm sorry for those who are watching more than people. So
I like dogs better than people sometimes. Yeah.
Kim, what advice would you give to someone who wants to protect their energy?
Realize how strong, I go through this with people all the time. Realize how strong of a being you are. Increase your frequency and take your power back. I've heard people tell me things like they think that, oh, maybe ghosts of a lower dimension are coming and trying to talk to them and bother them. They have no idea that that is their house and their space, and they get to control who comes in or who doesn't. So I teach them how. You know, you are sovereign. You can do this. But you have to love yourself and believe in yourself.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And for those of you who are interested in Kim's work, please check her out on her YouTube channel. And I would really encourage you guys to subscribe to her YouTube channel, because Kim has been putting for a long time now so many great videos out there. And I would love you to support her work. Her channel is down below, her website is down below. And I appreciate all you do, Kim. I just want you to know, and your energy. And it's interesting now when you mention even Eliana, I can see how we are really in the same group of frequency.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. She's my new role model. I
Yeah,
got a
she's amazing.
Merkaba.
It's wonderful to know that we come across those people in our life, and
Yeah, and you introduced me to her.
it's
Well, by
amazing.
your video. So I don't think I would have ever found her. So never forget what an important role you're playing here. So
Thank you, Kim. I know I don't see it really, to be honest. I don't see it. I feel like I'm doing this because it's the right thing to do right now. But like I told you before we started recording, I would like to, change the format of my channel in the near future and take people on the journeys, like this Archangel Michael lines or places like that will, some of people cannot travel, for example, like they are
mhm,
disabled or they just cannot for many reasons, and I feel I want to bring more beauty into their homes and
mhm.
knowledge and the truths that have been hidden. There's so much to discover from what happened, and it wasn't as we were told it happened. So yeah, but I appreciate your work so much, and I still haven't tried anything with you, but I will soon, I hope.
Yeah, just let me know. The offer's there. I'm ready when you are. So
Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Subscribe to Kim's channel if you're interested in the healing with Kim. She has different formats, like I said before. Listen to the last video where she really explains in detail what kind of work she does, and you go from there. Thank you.
thank you, Anya. Have a blessed day.
You
Bye-bye.
too.